Alrighty. What is up, my good peoples? Okay. Give it a minute for people to join on in. Kevin, what is up, my good peoples? Alrighty. What is up, y'alls? Put this over here. What is going on, everybody? Wait for this internet to act right. Okay, hope everybody's doing well. Popping in, hanging out for a bit. Got some cool stuff underway. If you have questions, let me know. Branch of service that you served in and years you were in. Feel free to pop those into the comments. Be careful what you type because community guidelines is a thing. So anything medication related or pretty graphic things, it just gets scrubbed, so I won't see it. Alrighty, so wait for this thing to come back. Ah. All right, so apparently I have it on only sub, so let's try that one more time. So I'm gonna close this one and start up again. I don't know why it defaulted to that, so I'm gonna start up again. Thanks, Kevin. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. How did it do that? Okay. It has it regular, but apparently y'all cannot comment because it gives me the option to go to sub only, but I think it's more on the comment chat side. So, all right, yeah. So I'm gonna start this one again, and we hopefully should be good. All right, be right back. A little technical difficulties, gotta love it. But on this side of the house, how are y'all doing? Let me know what branch of service you were in. Again, going live here, just kind of hang out for a bit. Excited for what we got going on. As you saw the title, the course is live, so I am excited for that. We're doing that next Tuesday, our BDD course for active duty folks. So that's something that I am looking forward to. Let's see. Read duration. Okay, that's that. Allow comments. That's that. Okay, I think that's it. Settings. So let's see, on the YouTube side of the house, what is the happening, good people? How are y'all holding up? We migrated our website, so pretty excited for that. And Let's see. On TikTok, let me know if you can comment because that was acting up for some reason. I'm not sure why. Um, but hopefully this go around kind of works. But our website got updated, so I'm happy for that. We're having a new platform and the course for next week that is live. The link is in my bio for that. What's up, Minecraft? So I'm excited for that. That should be pretty cool. So yeah, so popping in here, can answer some questions. Tomorrow we have our CMP class, and then next week there. So on the TikTok side, let me know if you can hear me and type hello or a wave or something to see if you guys can chat or whatever. Because it was saying, I guess folks couldn't comment or do something. So let me know if that's working. If not, I'm not sure why it's doing that. So we'll give it a second. Bum, 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 bum. I see the joins, but I don't see anybody commenting yet. So I don't have it off. So you should be able to comment. I'm not sure if that's a new setting or something because we were good the other day. So yeah, so let me know what branch of service you guys were in and the years that you served. Always good to get some feedback on that. So yeah, let's see. Why is it? I think it's doing it again. Not sure why it is doing that. But nonetheless, yeah. Alrighty. So I guess YouTube is fine. I don't know what is happening on this other side of the house, but biggest thing is again, website has been updated. So veteransnetwork.club. I'm happy for that. Links in bio. Our course is next week, so you can literally go sign up now. The cool thing about the course is I'm going to teach it live. It's an online course, so when you go to the website or the link that's in bio, it's going to throw you off a little bit because it's going to be like, oh, it's an online course. Well, the first one we're doing is going to be a live launch. Then it'll be online. We'll keep adding resources. You can watch the replays and things like that. So that's kind of the cool thing there. What's going on? Let's see. Jeff's in the building. All right, on the TikTok side, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, I think it's doing it again. I'm not sure. So we'll hang out on YouTube for a little bit. I got Minecraft with me and Jeff. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. So it should let folks comment. Comments are on. So let's see. We'll do one more. Duke TikTok says, yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I got like, yeah, thanks, Duke. Kevin just said the same thing too. So I'm trying to figure out because it's set to like a regular. It didn't give me any way to change that. So let me see. Allow comments. That's, yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Allow comments. That's open. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, we're hanging out on YouTube, so I'm not. I promise, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm here, but go to YouTube. It just I was gonna do both of them at the same time, but not sure why it's doing that. So I'll figure out kind of why it's doing that here in a second and do like a few test ones. Will probably come back later, but let's see. We're notifying more viewers. Yeah, but how do we switch the chat thing? Because I don't want that. Oh, there you go. I think I got it. I think I got it. Hold on now. I think I got it. There you go. I think I got it. I think I got it. If it goes away though, let me know because I just saw like a little message. I don't know why that was set that way, but yeah, that's weird. Um, yeah. So my bad. We fixed it. There's that part. Let's see. Duke Marine Corps, 2000, 2013. Um, Big Ed is in the building, 2000, 2004. Can you claim too much in the BDD? I have 6.5 months till I get out. Yeah, Matthew. That's really what I'm live here to. Tomorrow I'm teaching our CMP class, so heads up for that. That's links in bio. But our course launch for our BDD workshop, navigating your BDD claims, your roadmap when it comes to this. That's gonna be Mike. That's gonna be in the link in my bio. Excuse me, the link in my bio. So you can sign up now for it. It'll be an online class, but right, it's going to remain as an online class, but we're going to teach it live next Tuesday. So it's going to be a live class, but then the replay will be available. Others can kind of, purchase and have access to the course. But the biggest thing is you will have also the ability to have so we built out like a lesson. So it's pretty cool. Built it out like a lesson. We're gonna put resources in there. So, for the BDD folks, right? Like all the things we think or come up that you may need are gonna be in there. So like a resource tab. You can preview it in the link in my bio, but resource tabs and things like that, forms, etc., FAQs, different things we'll add. But even if we go forward, if we add anything moving forward, it'll give it to you retroactively. So that's gonna be a big one. For folks, right? So you'll always have access to it, even if you're getting out in a year or 6 months. You'll have the ability to go back and review that as many times as you can. So that's the big thing. Our BDD class for active duty folks. Those that jumped on the wait list, though, even the emails went out with the code for discount there. Regular sign up thing now is in the link to my bio. So excited for that. So I'll say that a few times as needed. Okay, can you claim? So no, Matthew, yeah, that's why I kind of went into that whole thing as far as saying that. But no, you're in the best position when you are transitioning service because you can point it all back to service, right? So again, obviously filing for things that make sense, you know what I'm saying? And being realistic there. A lingual toenail, I always joke about that. It is what it is. I'm not doubting it. I'm sure somebody has it. Heck, I saw someone who tried to claim baldness and freaking being short. The stuff you see. But nonetheless, you're good. More so, it'd be more difficult with somebody who's getting out. Like I had one active duty person, like they said they filed like 54 claims. And I was like, get ready for 53 to the house. But again, throwing things against the wall with no rhyme or reason. Like if you're gonna file a solid claim, have the evidence supported, diagnosis, things like that. Fast forward, if you have 54 claims in there and they all have ass, guess what? You about to be denied. So let's see. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we got that one. Is it worth working a VSO? Yeah. I have people who work VSOs who work with me. Close friends too. So for sure, if you find a good one, I always say hold on to them. I know there's horror stories, but there's horror stories for everything, realistically, right? But no, if we find a good one, for sure, and they can break it down to you, educate you, support you, not just file a claim, that's going to be big. The two, let's see, Mike. Army Guard, President, McLennan, Aerosol. Yeah, we had the whole conversation earlier, Mike. Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, again, it's cool. I hope, so I was having a conversation going back and forth with Mike on the video on YouTube, specifically for the insomnia piece. And he valid questions. And again, things get lost in translation. You know what I mean? Like, this is who I am. So I generally go in the comments and I'll respond in kind. In his case, he's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, what's actually changing? Which is a valid question. And basically, hey, what's the change for insomnia? How does this affect me? Can I claim two things? No, you can't. So basically, Mike's like, well, I got rated for this, so I don't understand what the change is. So when he explained what happened to him, I'm like, oh, say less. This makes sense. So the whole thing with the insomnia thing, again, they're recognizing insomnia as its own condition for a diagnosis. It was always treated as a symptom. However, this is something that many folks have been fighting for a while. So there have been many instances where they'll just rate insomnia as the mental health primary, not PTSD insomnia, not anxiety insomnia, just straight up insomnia. But the update to the SOPs and stuff on their end finally happened, right? So instead of hey, here's a new change, it's like they finally caught up to a change that should have happened a long time ago. So in like Mike's case, no change there because he already got it, before it went official in January. But for others who don't know, it's new to them. So, there's different ways to kind of look at these things. But if you already have a mental health, the insomnia stuff is not going to make a difference for you because you're not going to have two mental health claims, right? And that's the one way they're rating it as an individual thing. So someone who got denied PTSD, like my situation, but they say, hey, but you have insomnia, valid argument there. So that's that there. But yeah, Aerosol, my brother, appreciate you for popping in. Hopefully notified you. I really love to find a way to get involved with service members. At the end of the tour, it took me 10 years to acquire any benefits. So it's funny. That's why I'm putting this, I put the checklist together. Veteran, I get 50% of my DMs at this point is transitioning folks. I said it, I think, a few lives ago. One of the folks that popped in, he's like, I'm shipping out. but what can I do to prepare for CMP? And I'm like, shipping out back home? He's like, no, it's a boot camp. I'm like, oh Lord, what? But again, I get being prepared, but like we went from one pendulum to the next. We went from my grandpa waited 50 years for his benefits to I'll be damned, that's gonna happen to me. So I don't want no problems. I've seen it firsthand, right? Um, but that's what create this course, right? So this course, I want to teach it live next Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. That way we can kind of have different time zones pop in. If you're late, don't worry about it. If you can make it, you have access to the recording, be able to go back to it. You know, we'll make you whole, make sure you're good. And then it'll be online and on demand, and we'll create more courses like that. So I say that to say that one of the things that some folks have pinged us about is like, you know, potentially doing something with some bases and tabs and different things and come and speak here and do a thing there. Because we've done workshops and stuff like that, but, you know, we'll see what gets requested and what kind of goes. But this is our way to try to do something, create something somewhat there. Let's see. 3 CMP exams for the same mental health exam. They're sending me to the same doctor that gave me a favorable outcome. That's kind of not so common. For this same rating right now, Army. Same rating right now. That's kind of odd. 3 of them. I get some things need to be clarified, but let's see. DP, I'm doing my sleep study today. Do you have? Yeah, I do. Reggie, if you go to my YouTube, actually, in my live, I did a live with Tara, who I partner with, and they do medical exercise and things like that. So you'll see us talking about stuff there, so you can kind of get the information for that person. I recommend her services. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So that's that. For the sleep study, yeah, just have a good night's sleep, man. You know what I mean? Are you gonna go there or are you gonna do one at your house? Telly. Time to catch up. Beating the VA, blaming COPD, having tobacco use. Yeah, how many times did you try that, Thor? You got to increase, Kevin, for yours of sleep apnea? Of sleep apnea? Do you know if the CDL will taken away if the VA gives you rating? I do. No. So I think so. Again, I can't speak to this act, so I'll come at this from. So the question is, will they take my CDL if I have a rating, mental health? I don't want to lose my job, things like that. Check. Good. So a few things. I have a medical retirement from federal law enforcement, so I get the mental health side, first responders, guns, Second Amendment, all that jazz. Got it. But there's still the ADA in place, right? The biggest thing for first responders, law enforcement people, that gets them is lying, basically, not being truthful. If you're asked a question, am I rated? Yes, I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to present the right information as needed, right? And like anything else, fit for duty, right? You could be under psychiatric care, you could have a diagnosis, but are you able to still do your job? No different than if you break your leg, your doctor has to sign off that you're good to go to run again and do a thing again. So on the mental health side, you know, I had PTSD identified. I had to go, you know, do a fitness for duty exam thing. Took it to my psych filled it out, gave it back to them. You know what I mean? Just like any other thing. So I'd look into that. It's a valid question, but they can't discriminate outright and just take something for you. Again, can you do the job? You know, that's not a thing per se like that. But for the physical, if it comes up, obviously, yes, if they're asking questions, do you have a rating? Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to hold back there if it's especially, you know, a thing. So, but you could definitely, like I said, you know, get more clarification on that. Let's see. So total comp is 90, but the VA is trying to lower one of my back issues from 10 to 10 from 20, which would take, oh my Lord. Kevin, you are, man, we got to go deep sea diving. Bold, man, listen. I don't like it. Legit confirmation, psych diagnosed me. Hearing tonight. Aaron's Aaron's Salt. What's up, Vito? How much tonight is if I got hearing loss and getting hearing aids typically so that's again even then will that right there's a whole exam, right? There's auditory discrimination, there's, you know, how much of, you know, hearing do you have impaired, impacted, etc. So tonight is one thing that's very subjective, but the hearing loss, that's a whole different conversation. Just because I have hearing aids, again, that doesn't necessarily equate a rating criteria. I don't see a lot of high hearing ratings, but the few that I do know that are high, I had one vet who was like over 80 or some stuff years ago. And I was just like, holy shit, you're really fucking deaf. He had like cochlear implants and the whole 9 yards. I've been diagnosed and denied MDD, claimed PTSD to MST, all denied, back in counseling. So when did this happen, Evelyn? When did you get out of service, and when did you file that? So I'm curious to find that out. Let's see. On Mike's side of the house, man, look, I work for a living. Don't be calling me sir, brother. Let's see. I think I messed up by doing a home study sleep test. Nah, not really. The data's the data. Any idea when the new rating criteria is coming out? No, it's not coming out yet because it hasn't been approved. It's proposed. I have a video here that you can see. It's like 10 minutes, whatever. But it's the proposed changes. That's the last one I put up, and I cover that. Pretty much they have a suspense date of June for these proposed changes to take effect, but they are not approved yet. And if they do get approved, going into effect does not happen as soon as it gets approved. Is a process to update things, implement things, forms, training, et cetera, like the PAC Act. Signed in August, doesn't go into effect till January. A train wreck to freaking roll out, so. CMP exam for migraines and what can I expect? Let's see. The migraine stuff, again, the CMP, you can download the DBQs, see what the questions are going to ask. When it comes to the migraine side of the house, we're looking at, obviously intensity and frequency, and at the 50 range, the economic and adaptability. How does it affect you economically? So that's one thing there. I have some videos on the migraine 101. Tomorrow, I'm teaching our ACER CMP. It's a live class I teach. So I cover mental health, all the other things, CMP, start to finish, what to do, what to expect, if things go wrong, pushback, et cetera. So I run through that whole gamut. So that's tomorrow night. Yeah, and as far as your second one there, Adam, how you find that? Was that direct to service or something else? You had like a back, knee situation? Overall, how would manic HA? No. So again, you don't get rated because you have a diagnosis. You get rated based off the symptoms. So you have depression, I have depression, different ratings. Just because you have ADHD and I don't, doesn't make a difference. It's symptom wise. So when you look at the rating criteria, you can look at the video I have, 50 to 70, 70 to 100 mental health ratings. I break down the mental health criteria. You'll see that it's symptom based, right? What are the symptoms you are presenting? What are the areas impacted in your life? I'll make a video here soon about the proposed changes, but actually speaking about if I were to talk about how the rating works based on the proposed changes, for me, the way I teach mental health with our vets and stuff, I kind of do it towards the new rating criteria, proposed rating criteria, which looks at the WHO 2.0, right? The World Health Organization's criteria for that versus the DSM-5 currently, like the whole symptom this, symptom that. I like looking at our areas of your life versus say keywords. So I'll make a video at, speaking to mental health from the proposed changes side of the house and kind of what I would look at, even for sleep apnea, right? The big thing for sleep apnea change is currently sleep apnea says a CPAP is medically required at the 50 range. The proposed change to sleep apnea says the CPAP is, or the medical device, because it could be CPAP, APAP, anything in between, is ineffective in treating the sleep apnea. Because many vets will say today, I can't wear that thing. It doesn't work for me. Well, check. The new criteria looks at this doesn't work for me. Or I can't use it because fill in the blank. So that's something to look at there for that one. But again, those are things I'll start talking about. I just don't like doing it. I'll be honest with you, man. Look, I'm not even going to bullshit you. I don't like the clickbaity thing so much, and again, for those that have watched stuff, you get it. I'm going to give it to you straight. I get other folks are going to do things the way they do. Coming at you live. Oh, change is coming. Do these 3 things and blah, blah, blah. 50 ways to unfuck myself. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? So I have to deal with my own demons and PTSD when it comes to some of this. But I understand it's a value to have a conversation, right? I want to be able to say, okay, should these changes happen, this is how I would attack sleep apnea, how I would attack tinnitus, how I would attack mental health. Arguably, there's a stronger path on the mental health to like the 100% range, even with the proposed changes. So, but understanding how is it a better pathway to people. So a video like that sounds great, but how do you post that shit? How do you freaking label that crap so people click on it and freaking actually watch it? So attention, it's a game, you know what I mean? So I'll think of something, but I'll tell you, man, I freaking die inside. Like I'd love to make I'd love to make a daggone, thumbnails, right? For social media, just be like, not PC, but I'm saying like, F the system, we're going to be whatever. I mean, blah, blah, blah. All right, enough of me ranting randomly. But again, that's just a thing for me. I get it, but But I'm looking to do that. That's my whole point. I think a good hook, we'll figure it out. We'll put something out there nice. But a video about, hey, should these changes happen? Let's prepare. And I think that's the way I look at claims, right? Strategically maneuvering. How should we approach this? Because everybody's like, change is coming. Okay, then what we gonna do? If the change come, what we gonna do? Exactly, right? So I digress. What's up, Ryan? Check what Jenna said. Medical records help. And make sure to Vito's point, bring your medical records, but make sure they're in the claim too, right? Sometimes you have vets that bring stuff to the exam, but they're not in the claim. You don't have the understanding whether or not the examiner may have the capabilities to upload those things back to the system. So make sure whatever you're bringing physically, those things are part of the claim itself submitted. Okay. Hurry up and wait, man. You know it. Let's see, on this side of the house, what do we got? Any ideas? Okay, so we got that one. Lisa's in the building. Thanks for all the information. Appreciate you, Marcus. My man, B. Marcus. How long does it take for the VA to review all evidence for my CMP exam? It depends when they get it back. So the examiner has about 30 days. But sometimes they don't do it right. Sometimes they lose stuff. And that creates a whole issue of reexaminations and subcontractors not doing the job they were contracted to do. Okay, just got back from CMP, neck pain, fingers crossed. Just got back from CMP. How do you think it went, Jihan? How do you think it went? How long was the exam? And is this the first time you find that claim, or is this increase? Thanks for the sub, man. You rock, Marcus. One by one. Let's see. We got a service officer. Let's see. Yeah, Vito's in the chats. What's up, Vito? Appreciate you. First time. Okay, check. And how long did it go? Yeah, I've seen some. Like I said, we had one, again, different claims, right? If you're on the risk of homelessness or there's something terminal, they'll put a flash in the claim. So we had one that went very, very quickly. A regular claim one time a few months ago, I think, like it was 32 days from submitting to approval. Some I've seen a week, some I've seen a month. So it really is a crapshoot. It's hard to really dictate. Sleep apnea rating, how hard is it to get with PAC Act as secondary to... So the PAC Act is not going to do a difference for that, Nick. It's really going to be how you argue the sleep apnea rather to the mental health rating. But then again, a nexus letter would help. What's the argument you're making? Are you using weight as a intermediary? Those are some things. Oh, yes. Alrighty. Let me wait for this thing to come back. Yeah. Lost connection. Love it. All right, I think I'm back now. Gotta love it when I literally have my grandma calling me. Lordy. All right, so sleep apnea. I'm not sure you heard that part there. Percentage of PTSD, it goes 0 to 100. Oh, check. I'm not gonna wait to find out, Kevin, too. Yeah, I have to put it in now. Okay. Home studies are accurate. Yeah. Appreciate you, Greg. I retire next year. Hope my BDD goes well. For sure. Get the checklist, Jeremy. If you're able, jump into the class next week. Let's see. What's the best route to take for anxiety? My husband has no documentation. He just dealt. So one, is he ready for anything, Tiffany? That's the first question. Yeah, I don't know what's up with TikTok, man. It's just a whole thing. Again, look, I'm not. My hands are here. No magic tricks. I don't know what's going on the TikTok side of the house, but we got some buffering and technicality issues. But technology. Let's see. Not hard at all. You never lose. Yep. Got to stay at it. What's the best route to take for anxiety? Tiffany, what's the husband rated for, if anything? If you have insomnia combined with mental health, should I try to get... Nope, you can't get by itself, Voodoo. You only one mental health rating. If you had nothing, you could file for insomnia by itself. But in your case, no. Let's see. Just got here. What's BDD? Hey, Billy. Benefit delivery on discharge for those active duty people. Think of TAPS or leaving the service. There's a whole process now that in that 180-day window, service members can file for a claim, and then the last days, 90 days, they start the process of filing their VA claims, doing their CMP exams, and all that stuff. Thanks for the follows, good people. Night Razor Bun 2014 got denied. Just had another exam. I think is okay. EP. Okay, let's see. When I went for my CMP, my right shoulder examiner used the angle ruler made me go until I couldn't bear the pain as opposed to when I told him, write that up. Well, when was that? When did that happen, Lewis? I would write that exam up and complain. I wouldn't just stick with that. Somebody talked about basically they went to a CMP and examiner uh, went for a shoulder. The examiner used the angle ruler, the goniometer, made me go until I couldn't bear the pain as opposed to when I told him I started to hurt. Is he wrong? Yep. I'm like, you want me to feel pain? I could make you feel some pain too, but that wouldn't be becoming. Diagnosis. I would say for sure, Callie, but there's instances where that, yes, diagnosis need to be clear, especially for the mental health side. But you have instances where PTSD could have never even mentioned, and you could be silent on it, and because of what it is, those are treated differently. But if you're able to get seen and you're able to get care and have those diagnoses, for sure that will help. But in the case like a PTSD thing, medical team has noted if your medical team has noted mental health changes over time, is that significant? Well, no, because significant for what, right? Significant for, because again, and this is where I think it's talk about mental health is weird in the sense that it's getting folks to understand that I can tell you veterans that have not really chosen to go to therapy, they can speak to their symptoms, they can show in their life what's going on. That okay, your symptoms are getting worse, but no, can you speak to your symptoms getting worse? Can you speak to over time what the changes have been and give examples to that effect, right? Because it's your CMP talking to a thing, and a veteran's ability to communicate that's a big one for sure. So, again, it'll help for sure, Callie, but really on you understanding how to speak to those points. What's up, Roly? Knees went, HLR, then remanded, receive. Ayo, what's up, Ronnie? That's what's up. Then got notified for CMP for the knees. Man, listen, I love when that happens. Like, I'm done, leave me alone. Denied right ankle, right ankle claims, diagnosed in service with event Stevie. How long ago was that denial? How did you file for it? How long were you out of service? Were you out for a period of time? And had you been seen for those conditions post-service? AKA bad left knee, complained in service, been out 20 years, and never seen a doctor. And last time I ever said anything about my knee was 20 years ago while in service. Yes, I have the records and I have a diagnosis, but 20 years of silence doesn't help me either, right? So give me some context. Oh, and again, biggest thing too, like for those of you that, if like I said, if you know somebody who's active duty, share the link, right? It's not just for y'all, for them, but if you know someone who may not be following on the social medias, send them the link for that BDD workshop we're doing next Tuesday. They can sign up now. It'll have a members areas for them. So for those that are just kind of tuning in, that's the big thing that I'm excited to share. We have that course going. We have the platform and backend in place. So you'll have access to it's an online class, but this was going to be live the first time. You have access to replays, resources, and everything in there. You have a login to the website, so you can always access those things. And as we add new things down the road, right, we can drop things into your profiles, and you'll see them even after the class. Yeah. My service dog's trying to be slick, trying to see if my wife will feed him, but I already fed him. You ain't slick, dog. Best route to take for anxiety, husband. Okay, Tiffany, I think waiting for you to respond to that one. Failed to show symptoms to my initial claim. I'm gathering new evidence right now. Stevie, check. Okay. Check. Okay. How was that denial? I'm guessing a no matter on the decision or anything. Yeah, no change will happen to you, Ronnie. Let's see. Does my supplemental claim for those conditions have a chance? Yeah, for sure. It's just what was the denial reason, Stevie? What was missing? Adding those pieces in there. A nexus letter may help, maybe, but realistically, as long as you're able to address what they're saying you don't have, that's the argument for supplemental, right? How are you going about filing that? How do you find out if you're a PNT? I actually have a video on that, but when you go log in, go to benefit summary letters, like on VA.gov, just look at letters, like search for letters, and you'll be able to log into the disability side and do a print benefit summary letters. If you have the VA app, when you log in there, you can see it there as well. What's the 40% for? So Tiffany, yeah, you can do a secondary to the 40. So that's like a lifestyle impact. So that can be an argument there. The question was, as far as the husband not ever complaining about something, how does he file this? He's rated 40% for something. Can we argue those things secondary to that? That's an argument potentially. Let's see, you're gonna cover VA wonky math when it comes over. Yeah, for sure, definitely covering that. So yeah, covering VA math. So from start to finish, what's the CMP? I'm a year out from leaving service. What's the process? What I do? Seeing doctors, notes, etc., things of that such, diagnosis, and then submitting the claim, putting all the things that you need in there. From there, understanding what a CMP is, how to get ready for CMP exams. So it's a whole rundown of things that will be covered, and of course, via math, even post service, right? You leave service, things may not be there, but then they develop afterwards how to treat those things within that 1 year post service. What are secondary claims? You don't need them right now, but even to know those things, because time flies. Asthma, rhinitis, sinusitis, tinnitus, waiting on sleep apnea. Okay, um, check. Okay, yeah, secondaries, lifestyle impact. What do you mean having anxiety? What do you mean by having anxiety? No, it's a no anxiety rather. Period, or having depression or PTSD. Um, but I misspoke there. Let's see. Doo 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 doo. Okay, let's see. What changes are going to be made for the disability process? There's a bunch of proposed changes. The big proposed ones right now are to mental health, to sleep apnea, and to tinnitus. Um, and those changes have not been approved. They've been pending for about 2 years now. The suspense date is June of this year. So if those things happen, there's some changes as to how mental health will be impacted. I have a whole video on that. That's the whole talk on that because it's a pretty significant change. Whereas sleep apnea is just changing required use of a CPAP to the CPAP don't work, or APAP or whatever you have. And then tinnitus just being lumped under hearing loss. No, Milo, but I do have fun. No, I don't. I have a whole team and company, and actually XBSOs and raters that work for me as well. So we are not those things. We are doing different things. Today we're just talking. Let's see. I'm at 80. Another CMP exam increase for knees. Doctors ask how far I can bend out. Okay. 100%. I'm 100%, but wants to know. Yeah, when you log into read.gov, you can see benefit summary letters. Yeah. 90 apnea. So no, Jax. It's more so is the CPAP medically required? That's what the regulation looks at. It doesn't cite apnea episodes or anything like that. It's on the doctor now to say that this person medically requires a sleep apnea machine medication thing. Again, CPAP, APAP, BPAP, whatever new things are popping now. How long, Chief, were you out for that hypothyroidism? Yeah. National Guard soldier leaving deployment if under 30 days. Uh, so it's different on the National Guard side. Again, are you ready for anything PNF, right? How are you going to file that thing? What's your argument, etc.? So a few ways, I guess, to look at that. A nexus letter, it's a connection. So in this VA claim space, 3 things you need to really file a claim. You have to have a diagnosis. That's the biggest thing, right? An event or stressor, right? How was it caused or made worse by military service? And something connecting that from like past to present. So to make it easier, think about it. Something happened in service. I have a diagnosis today. How do I connect those things the further I've been out of service? So a nexus helps to connect that. So what does that mean? It's a term for independent medical opinions. Folks want their doctors to write something like your doctor's telling you, yep, your back is jacked from the military. And you're like, can you please put that on paper so I can give it to the VA? They're like, absolutely not. Because they hear disability and they're like, not what I do. I'm in healthcare, not disability. Got it. So many providers, they understand they're giving opinions and it's not Social Security, have begun to create an entire ecosystem of support there. So Nexus letters really look at the evidence of what you provided. Here are my service treatment records. I had this issue in service, and in turn, I have this diagnosis now. My left knee was jacked in service from jumping. I have a left knee situation now. A Nexus letter helps me connect that 10 years removed from service. So Nexus medical opinion, not required. Instances where it can come in handy. But that's one of the last videos I put up, one of the last shorts that I talked with Tara about that there. But that's what a nexus is. Hearing loss, BSM. Yeah, hearing aids, again, don't equal hearing loss. It's all subject on the exam itself. Supplemental claim is moving very quickly. Is that good or bad? Yeah, again, it can be good as long as everything's in there. Personal statement from a sworn statement from yourself as you read. Okay, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I had to read it twice. Can personal statements from a sworn statement from yourself and your supervisor help bring up rate? All right, so you have your statement, you have a buddy statement for your supervisor, but again, what for? That's the question, Michael, rather. That's the question. Are we talking an increase to something rated already or a brand new claim? What are we working with? Because that also can dictate how I'm going to answer. There's a requirement, certain things, like if you're a med hold going through a separation, stuff like that, you may not qualify for the BDD side of the house. So there's some caveats there. Chronic mental health related. It's also related to combat related PC. I don't know what the first question was there, Lewis. I'm sorry. This thing strips things, so be careful really giving very specific things, because if you type things, the system don't like it. Okay. Borderline personality disorder. Okay. Supplemental claim moving quickly. Bad submitted evidence. VSO. Yeah. No, I've seen stuff get. I've seen stuff move very quickly. So, what's up, Paulie? Again, was it an increased Kef, or was it a new claim, or how did you go about that? No, I am not in the subreddit. It's hard enough to keep up with this. I was diagnosed on orders on the terminal brain injury, prescribed medications. Check. And you again, you can point to something that happened active duty. So that's the whole big thing. Did it happen active duty? Did it happen on orders, LODs, things like that? So on the reserve side, those things matter. 60%, I have OSA GERD. Migraines pending. All diagnosis secondary to PTSD, depression. Check. Okay. Just got MEB'd. VA says 100 projected. Still active until. Okay. Yeah. So once you're out, it should kick in the other part too. The sleep loss is also a paper. Yep, line of duty means that it's covered and it happened on duty. That'll help. Stepdad got 5 stuff deferred for medical opinion. What does that mean? Yeah, vegan. So that just means that the VA may have made a decision on something. So let's say your stepdad, I'm sorry. Where is it? Yes, your stepdad filed for something, and 5 things, 2 gets approved or rated, and the other 3 things are deferred. All that means is, hey, we have enough to decide these claims. We still need more time to work these other ones. Let's not hold up everything. Let's let these go out first. So, horrible analogy, but think of it like appetizers, main course and dessert, which is obviously not the VA claim process, but just, hey, man, this is ready. Send them out to the table, right? Get them out of here. And it looks good under stats suit because they show completed work. How long do people sitting on evidence before pending? That depends on so many variables, what's going on. Again, if it's also a fully developed claim, or did you do a standard claim and have the VA help them find things, because that also can prolong things. Let's see. Nexus letters can be written by fellow soldiers. Why? No buddy statements, Tony. Nexus letters specifically going to be something a medical provider is writing and giving a medical opinion. Buddy letters, sworn statements, definitely anybody and anybody. What about kidneys? New claim. What's going on with the kidney? 100%. Is it worth doing secondary claims if it's life-threatening? Some folks say don't poke the bear, but there's instances where that's not true, right? So, for example, on my team, I have one of my vets. She's dual military, so her husband, for example, has MS. He's rated, retired, has that advance and so forth. But there were certain things he needed that he couldn't get for ancillary benefits, and it was because he was not rated for his back. Once he was rated for his back, regardless of the 100, it made the process easier for ancillary benefits and things requested, because there's a service-connected disability, and they're going, charge card outside the VA system to get things done. So ancillary benefits is a big one. So in that case, it was like 2 years of fighting, I believe, to get certain things that he needed. And that was really the piece that nobody understood. It's ancillary and how you can request ancillary things. You're 100%, but you don't get everything either. It has to be a reason of why are we going to send you this, Feely Pots or Freely, bed or special chair thing or whatever, accommodation thing. So, but it was life-threatening for sure. Bum, 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 bum. All right, over to the 2. Let's see. I'm rated 100% for mental health. But I still need to file a claim for. You can, but again, what I mean? I'm big on the fact where it's like when people say don't do a thing, like what's it to you? If I want these things to be noted on record, it's like I go to the doctor one time. He said I had the flu. All right, well I got diabetes. Well, it's not gonna make a difference on your pay. Well, who cares? Who gives a damn? Or they may open your stuff again. Stop it. That's not how it works. I know people who've been 100% full ever and keep filing claims for things because some have OCD and want everything on paper. Check, got it. But again, you're not paying T, argument. You are, again, ancillary benefits, comes in handy. So there's many variables to that. So that's why I don't like when someone just says, oh, don't do a thing. Well, you don't understand it. This veteran is not going to get accommodations for something they need physically because they're not rated for it. And they have a clear argument for it. Come on, man. But again, it's just easy to say cookie cutter things. Paulie with the answer. I love it. Scheduling exam with the VA from torn rotator cuff, secondary. Scheduling exam with the VA. Are you ready for that, Alex? Oh, okay, I think you asked that. So it's hard to catch up because I know you asked something. So, Crap, I lost what you had said earlier, Alex. My bad. My bad. Okay, this is a good one. What's the best way to explain why I haven't been to the doctor since I've gotten out 15 years ago? Again, I just got back from Arizona a few days ago. I was out there with our oldest veteran. He's 96 years old. World War II veteran. First time he filed the claim was last year. So riddle me that one, right? 95-year-old World War II veteran. Nobody ever thought. I mean, the guy has stuff. Moral story. Was out there for his birthday and all those things. How do you argue for someone who's been out of service for such a long time? I have a lot of older veterans, again, even Vietnam veterans, out for 50 years before they file a claim. To your question, right? How do you explain, hey, it's been 15 years, I haven't seen a doctor? Well, a lot of things, right? There's also stigma, there's things. I'm not going to talk mental health. As a veteran, you sucked up, you drive on, I got 2 arms, I got 2 legs, I came back from Vietnam, this is what they said. Or all those different things that are the reasons why. Also, I went to a doctor one time before I left service, and they said either get surgery or do meds. I don't want surgery, I don't want meds. Guess who's going to suck it up and drive on, right? But guess what? This thing is destroying my life. So there's many reasons like that those are valid instances. Like again, some people don't have the means, some people don't have the shekels to pay for these things. So there's a lot of variables as to why certain things at times may be part of that. So that's all part of the arguments for folks. No night to establish denied to 2021. I'm just learning I'm supposed to submit. Check, Stevie. What's up, MB? First pack act, COPD seems like DBQ is blaming tobacco use. Is there a way? Yeah, you have to get some medical evidence and some more opinions, potentially some medical stuff to show what you had before that. You know what I'm saying? So that can be unpacking stuff because how can we show other things around it? You know, medical opinions on that. What's the severity of it? Does anybody concur to that or you know dispute that? Right. So that's going to be a hard one to kind of say, hey, look, here's where I was at. I get it, but how much tobacco was I smoking? Like, how did that go into the conversation? Right. I thought the CMP was for severity, not to go back to. Yeah, they look at severity for sure, but they're trying to establish still the service connection, even if it's a presumptive. Personal statement from yourself. Bring. Okay, yeah, I think I said that one already. There, Michael. Everyone needs to hit up the Congress to pass the STAR Act. Yep, I'm gonna do a video on the STAR Act too. Let's see, the supplemental claim. Okay, I already had that one. Decision phase. Dun, 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 dun. Separated no. Okay. Submitting evidence, nexus, kidneys, got that. Deferred, got that. 90% submit another claim, and it got me to 91. How can I get? It depends, Ramos. Honestly, where are you at? What's going on? What are you rated for? So I can't, like, without knowing anything. I don't know. You know, realistically, not being facetious, right? What's the argument? Where are you rated? Are things stopped off? That's a conversation to have. 100% disability. Does that automatically qualify me for? Yeah, it does. Nope. The first COE. Personal statements. Again, Michael, I think I missed it. You responded. Sworn statements from yourself. Again, what rate specifically? What are you filing for, Michael? And what do you think that's going to help? Do you think most people take advantage of the VA system? Most claims are not service related. No. So again, statistics. 18 million veterans per the VBA's annual benefit report that just came out. So we have 18.56 million veteran or so. 5 million and change are rated. 1 million, 0.2, are 100% PNT. Moral story, not all veterans are rated. You know, 5 million is not 18 millions, and even those 5 million, a million are 100%. Moral story, I think there's a lot of this miseducation, misunderstanding, trust that's broken, people who got things wrong. I know people who've been denied who think they don't have a claim, and it's like, you weren't denied, you filed on the wrong form. But it took you 5 years to talk to somebody to get perspective. All you saw was DP, this is not blah, 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 blah. You stop reading. So there's that. Let me see, jumping on this side of the house. Okay, my last claims were submitted in January. I think stuff is moving rather fast. Yeah. Not something like somebody was just saying like they're like a week, like 2 weeks between submitting and things moving. Files physical, static, permanent total for the 100% with what discerning dash just said. As far as the physical for the guy who's 100, static conditions PNT. New comp claim for kidneys. How are we arguing that? How are you going to connect it back, right? So you have that kidney situation, but what's your rationale line of argument? Like you have to have an understanding of, okay, this caused this, or this is secondary to that. Something related already caused this situation. Is it health? Is it deterioration? But yeah, no, people are just people, man. Again, at the end of the day, nobody really wants to sit here trying to fight the system just to be told that they're wrong. 40% back, paratrooper, issues thoracic, deny me E1 nexus letter. When was that, Robert? Medical opinion from a doctor who's weighing in and basically saying medically they think that this should be a thing you have versus what the VA is saying. New to 100% disability, okay, got that one. Personal statements, got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Favorite 214 or do you think most people take it? Nope. Stepdad got denied for chronic fatigue. Ew, okay. Got denied for chronic fatigue because he had 5 symptoms and not 6. Yeah, appeal. How long ago was that the denial vegan? I don't see what the... you can keep ignoring my question. I do not believe that... Okay, let's try again. Do you think most people take advantage of the VA system and most claims are not service related? No. How long when you're temporary will they... If you're PNT, no, they're not looking at you. And the reevaluation period can go from 3 to 5 years if there's not a PNT or you're not static if you're like under 100. George, the information on getting prepared for DBQ heart attacks and getting their PTSD, not DBQ, sorry, CMP exam. I think they're filing. The CMP will do that, George. For you, so you file that straight to service. Tell me a little bit about the heart situation and how you're going about that. Are you rated at all? As you folks kind of kick in, just kind of hanging out for a little bit here. We're about at an hour, so I'll shut it down right at the hour mark. But biggest thing is our class is live for next week. March 19, BDD workshop is a launch of our live class. So for anybody leaving active duty, I'm teaching it live. I have free resources for active duty folks, but this is a class we're putting together. It'll be recorded. You can review, go back to it. There'll be resources added in the course and everything. So I'm excited for that. That link's in bio. If you know somebody or you're in that situation where you're, about to, or you're ways out, or you want to, have that training, come on down. It'll be great. A lot of folks had a lot of interest in it. So I'm excited for that. And if you know someone, send them the link. Tomorrow we're doing our CMP class. So that's going to be pretty dope. All those links are in bio, but that's kind of the big administrative parts. But I'm excited for those changes. And our website, it's new. Let's see. How long when you are... okay, temporary. No, not define temporary though, because if you have a temporary thing, like that's for a period of time for something, versus if you're not just PNT. But that could vary. Some folks 3 to 5 years. Some folks don't get called back. One day you find out you're PNT. A few different ways that can play out. PTSD claims psychiatrist has me on 3 different meds and did a BQ med board about foot surgery. Chance of getting 100%. It depends. All symptoms. Mental health can take you there, but just off of that, what's the symptoms? No, you don't need 100% home loan. You can have 10%. Actually, you can have it. You just have a veteran status. If you're rated, they'll refund the funding fee. Secondary to sleep apnea. Do you have mental health? If you do, no. On the insomnia secondary to PTSD, to insomnia, to voodoo, to your question. Again, John, how are we arguing it, right? Like primary direct to service, something caused it. What's the medical situation happening, right? Like, do you have an understanding of how that's going to be argued? Okay, big data in the burn pits. Check. Yeah. Are you in the registry? CMP was 2 minutes long. I'm worried. Why, Roberto? Was that a reevaluation? Give me some more feedback on what happened. First claim, increase. How was the demeanor? What happened? What did they ask you? How hard is it for a reservist to get disability? Not hard if you have the ability to point to something on orders and active duty. Okay, 20%. How to get for date of ETS from the day I found. John, how long you been out? Again. Having a hard time landing a job because of, I retired from from law enforcement. It depends, honestly, how they look at certain things, right? In your case, what are we looking at? On the federal side, they can't discriminate against a thing, but they can also pass on the way in. Obviously, many folks come in, and then afterward get rated. So that's kind of a tricky one, especially with some of the hiring standards. What agency did you apply to? Rated 50% PTSD. I just had okay. So your argument, George, is secondary to that. What's going on with your weight? What's going on with the health? Is there anything else you have going on that they could potentially pin that to on your side there? Thanks for a thumbs up on the YouTube side. Thanks for the share and follow. Okay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Once you are denied and wait after the 1 year for supplemental, can you put it back? Yeah, just don't let the year lapse, Marco. Active duty, signed 3 year guard contract. Rating. You might have to choose between you want to get guard pay or drill pay or VA pay. Denied for tort claim malpractice, Gustavo. Where specifically? What happened? 40%. I feel like I've been scuffed a little bit. Can I resubmit? Yeah, but what's the 40% for? Major dirty. 100%. Do I still need to do? If I'm 100%, do I still need to do my burn pit claim? I'm big on, again, the registry. Yes, those, again, we're not gonna know what we were exposed to unless people know what those things are. So great, you're rated. Nothing's gonna change on your rating, but if that data helps to paint the picture what we're with, yes, for sure. But again, you're not filing the burn pit either. You're getting on the registry, but what are you filing because of the burn pit? Like, is it an asthma thing or COPD, right? Let's see. Cool, George. I don't think I can do anything fighting for my. Okay. Okay. Had a concussion from my most recent jump, migraines, ears bleeding. Just found out I blew an eardrum. Those. So again, you had an accident, but now what's the medical situation after that, right? What are those diagnoses? So that's how you look at it. Something happened, you had a concussion. Okay, is there a TBI conversation now? Are migraines something persistent? Are you rated for those things? Where's the continuity of care? Is it something that continues to get worse? Normal? No, not for that. I have heard of army memes. Yeah, I have. Is yeah, 2 minutes seems way too short. I'm sorry. What did I ask you? 100% TDIU. Can I use secondary conditions in order? You can. Nada. If yes on the burn pit. Let's see. Okay. There you go, Tony, on that one. DBQ symptoms are based on DBQ. Are the chance of PNT? It depends, honestly, on a few factors, right? They can look and say it's the first time. Let's say he got that mental health rating at that. There's a possibility that he may get better. So sometimes, depending on age, all that factors and stuff. But I've seen folks go to 100 straight PTSD, not PNT. Reeval outcomes, they go PNT. Some go straight PNT, and now you go for that. Remember, all mental health disabilities are rated the same. So yeah, and that's to Heaven's point, and that's why again I cover those in detail in the videos we put out, the class we put out. Again, I get it, but one thing I've learned doing this job of working with veterans is that I can't answer one thing one way without having context. That's why I'm always asking, what's the context? Because I can't tell my 95-year-old veteran, World War II guy, to go look up the CFR 38. The fuck does that mean? Again, realistically, my car's not working. I'm supposed to learn how to freaking change a freaking muffler. I'm sorry, I don't. What I'm do that thing. It sucks that we have to advocate the way we do for things, but even then, what are we doing specifically with the CFR? Where are we going? What's the argument? Do we understand pyramiding? Do we understand how service connection even works? So sometimes you have folks that get real armed trying to, bring up things because the reg says that or a subreddit thing said this, and you're gonna get denied every day of the week because you're trying to, WebMD yourself into a thing and you're missing the basics without context. So in a situation where you don't know anything about anything, get help, get a VSO, get someone to walk you through the process because you don't have a foundation to make valid arguments. You know you're dealing with something, but you can't do it by yourself. If you can, great, but that's not everybody. Some folks can watch my videos and go to their ratings and they're fine. Other folks, not so much. Different situations. But yeah, the CFR is basically where you'll see us reference a lot of things, but some folks will walk out of that thing more confused than anything else. You don't need 100% for the home loan. 9 months, no decision. It is normal, Christian. It's just I'm sorry. Oh, no worries. I know this thing cuts in and out, so I just repeat them as many times as I can. Yeah, it's normal, sadly. Okay. 50% physical disabilities, waiting on VA to make decision on my, okay, check. As we come to a close here, again, we updated our website. I'm really excited for that. We put together a course that has been asked a lot of active duty people. I'm going to get out. What do I do? Any advice? Any tips? Anything like that? Um, the reality is that's why we put together a free BDD, which I'm gonna call it checklist. Follow that. Some folks have wanted to have a class specifically for that. Those active duty folks there. So looking at the next week's class we put together, BDD class live is the first one we're teaching. So it's covering the BDD process for folks transitioning, whether you're gonna transition a year or two out, whatever case may be, going through the process, about to do the process, all those things leading up to submitting a claim. What is a claim? What is CMP? Preparing for those things, medical evidence, how to put things in place, how to rebut that, bad CMPs, how to push back, mental health claims, all other kind of claims, VA math, funny math, fuzzy math, Q&A, answering your questions, and then having resources for the class you can come back to and review as you're going forward. So you have the ability to rewatch those things. So I'm excited for that. So that's the big thing I want to make sure we get out there. That link is in my bio. If you were on the wait list, you should have got the email. And if you were not on the wait list, just hit the link in bio and it'll take you right to that sign up for next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're rocking with our first launch. And then again, it'll be available for replay for folks that continue to watch it who've purchased the course. Tomorrow, we're doing Ace Your CMP. So yeah, if you have a CMP, check the link in bio. Is mental health rated under the same umbrella? Yeah, no, B Marcus, yeah. So it's all one thing, but there has to be something missing. Something's wrong. Something could be contested. So you could have one CMP. Like, did you submit anything, B Marcus, with your mental health claim? Because there are instances where, like, for example, I submit a claim with my own thing, my own doctor stuff, and this, that, the third. I go to CMP. CMP examiner has a completely different thing than what I'm saying. Rater gets this thing, looks at this stuff, says, okay, this doesn't make any sense, call for another exam. Or it was filled out incorrectly, call for another exam. So there are instances where that can happen, but three of them, that's kind of funky, right? Like what we talk about here. It should be one exam for all those mental health conditions. Let's see. Different ways, probably depends. You know, some people do it through organizations and so forth or whatnot. So there's a lot of different ways, you know, literally. Again, who's hiring, it's a whole process and accreditation, the whole thing. But yeah, a few different ways. Again, legions and BFWs and other organizations and whatnot, depending where you live and things like that too. Received my email today from you, paying. Dwayne, that's what's up. Is there a statute of limitation filing claims regarding? No. If you're exposed to it and you have presumptive for that, it is what it is. So you're good on that. Hard charge, the same thing as like diabetes when it comes to Vietnam folks exposed to Agent Orange. Should a vet wait until CMP exam is scheduled before attending a VNC? Yeah, that's a great. That's a good alley oop. Lisa with the alley oop, grab it, got it, boom, bang, bing. Question being, should I wait until taking a ACE or CMP class, right? Until they schedule me for a CMP? And the answer is no. It's like cramming for a test before the test. I am pretty good here doing what I'm doing. I promise you that I'll probably trigger you at a class, and not in a bad way, but more so in the sense that we got to cut down to things and explain how to get to the nitty gritty, which I cannot do on social media because community standards, and there are certain things I cannot say. But in a class environment, yes, we can have a real veteran conversation without freaking these different things. My point being is it helps to understand that because there's a lot that potentially you're going to unpack and have to work out. Like one couple came, the veteran is filing, his wife was with him, came to a CMP class, and it helped them write their personal statements, actually. So the veteran's wife emailed the next day and was like, hey, you know, being able to attend the class was helpful for him to understand how to speak through his situation, but also helped us better understand how to write a personal statement for the husband, and me as a spouse writing a letter for him as to how deep I need to go. So things like that for sure are things we hear all the time that are very helpful versus I have a CMP on Friday, let me go on Wednesday. If possible, come a little earlier than that, right? Because you may realize, like, oh, wait a second, I have to unpack this stuff where I have things I can look at. So, for sure, don't wait until you have a CMP schedule to get ready for the CMP, right? It's like, I'm not going to train for a boxing match until they set a fight date. You better be running. You better be working. What if I served in the Lord's army? I guess you're doing the Lord's work. How do peacetime veterans, Tara is the toxic exposure. The question is, how do peacetime 80s veterans prove toxic exposure? So that's where Tara is a great argument for vets now. Tara, you know, kind of came with the PAC Act, but Tara is toxic exposure risk activity. that's a umbrella that now lets a veteran be looked at and say, hey, look, this is where I was exposed to these things, and now that kind of gives the VA a way to be able to argue that. So in your case, hey, I wasn't deployed, did all this stuff, but I was at Fort McLennan, I was at Camp Lejeune, freaking water contamination situation. This at third, I was JP8 fuel, etc. Boom, tear up, make the argument, look at your job, where you were, things of that such, and that for sure is something that can be argued. Is in peacetime. Okay, what are we talking about here? What if? Uh, so that's for that one. Let me catch up here. March 15th, open to all veterans. Turn around for a CP supplemental claim, like a regular claim. Honestly, it depends. No, peacetime is just where there's no combat. Is there a rating for medication? Skin condition for sure. Great help. You're welcome. Um, hello. I tell you, I love social media because in between being serious and answering questions, there's just some stuff that is hilarious to me. I love this. I don't love that. Let me not say that because it'd be awkward to say that. But unless my kids have logged on, it's funny to read, "Hey, Daddy, I'm back." Well, hello to you too. What's up, my son? It's just, uh, let's see. Ratings. Curious. Currently serving Navy, going over 30. What's the easiest, best way? Brian, that's why That's literally why this is live. Is I'm talking about. I'm covering all these things on the BDD class next week that's going down. That's literally for all these different things. So there's a lot of ways to unpack that, right? But the biggest thing is getting seen, got diagnosed. There's things you have been putting off to get seen because again, you were in the Navy doing the Navy's work. Now you're getting out. What are you dealing with? What are some things that you could potentially argue? Understanding that. Where were you? Exposure. Got to start getting seen. Got to start getting things documented. And from there begin the process of unpacking that. And then the BDD program for you might be something for sure in that 180-day window out. So those are some things that we're gonna cover in the class that's linked in my bio for next week. All right, good people. It's been real. Liberty to death. Let me rephrase. All right, rephrase it so I can get to that one. But we're gonna shut her down. Let's see. Yeah. So So that's what I'll say for short. Start there. How do you file for a claim? How let me combine secondary rating, something off of something that's already rated, probably DiMaggio. The rating for DDD is fine, but I do have our secondary, so secondary to those things. Let's see. I did my CMP appointment, finished waiting, med 15 years, also looking at the, okay, waiting for the next comment. Can you work if your mental health assessment classified you as hard to adapt? That's a you thing, right? So you're trying to find something, but for some veterans, right, like you may find something that's accommodating to you, that's sheltered to you, that you can do a thing. But no, you have that disability, that the issue when it comes to that work-life adaptation. That doesn't bar you from the thing. It's just you're saying here are the things that I'm dealing with, right? But no, you can work for sure. But again, define that, right? Like I'm a veteran, we do what we do here. My entire crew, they're all veterans. You could argue that my situation, our group organization is a sheltered environment because of the fact that I, a veteran with my issues and mental health, et cetera, understand. Like if I was not in this space, I would probably fire, Billy for this crap he did. But in this environment, like it's Billy migraines. You know what I'm saying? So sheltered environments are very unique in that regard. Go into va.gov, look at Google letters in there, and you'll be able to see your service letters, your benefits summary letter will have the PNT aspect in there for you to show you if it's not or is. And you should have that letter anyway to be able to use it as needed. Let's see, combine my back. Not combined. You can do secondary. So there's no combination. It's just something secondary, DiMaggio. You're welcome. Filed for several things. Went to my CMP and it didn't cover all my claims. Is this normal? Again, they'll call different CMPs for different things. So some things may happen with a general practitioner. Mental health will be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So there may be different CMPs that aren't even scheduled for the things you weren't seeing. Let's see. Related compensation, pay service. Okay. Check, Devin. Okay. And you're in the process of all that right now, right? Alrighty, sitting at 90. I didn't want to rock the boat and ask for. They might no. So and I get it. You know what I mean? But did your disabilities get any? Excuse me. Did they improve? You know, it's like saying I have diabetes and now I have hypertension, for example, and in migraines. Well, does my migraine deny my diabetes? No. Does the new claim that I filed negate my other claims? No. Can I still speak to my migraine is 50%? Yes. Can I still speak to my chronic fatigue? Yes. I'm just now filing this thing, right? So it's a common misconception, Tara, as far as you know, not wanting to file a thing or ask. You're not asking. That's the whole thing, right? You're not asking for peep. You are filing for the disability that you are claiming is service connected, related, and should be compensated accordingly. So that's one of the biggest things there. Do you charge for your service or is all this free? Well, this live is free. The class tomorrow is 47 bucks. It's a class, it's a one-off, so that's that. And the class next week for the active duty transitioning service members and all the stuff we put together is 67 bucks. And if you want a wait list, you got 30% off. So I believe we should have different options for different things. So we're creating different things. People are asking for stuff. Let's create it. Let's do it. Again, this is here just me answering questions left and right. Like some folks have wanted to talk to me directly to have a CMP prep or like a strategy call or whatever, because they just want to have my perspective. You know what I mean? I've opened up my schedule to do stuff, but finding how to do different things. So majority of the stuff that we do is free, in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, all the stuff that we have here, that's a big one. But classes and specialized things that we have, no, those are not. Next week, I do a basics class for VA claims, kind of how we do a thing. That's a free class. You know what I mean? So options, I like options. Um, yeah. But again, it should be like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, and again, I'm not pushing. I'm just saying as an example. Like some folks, like, hey, I got a team. They'll have free assessment call. Go to the website. You'll see it. You can see my team. You can have a call. They'll tell you what you have. They'll give you perspective and stuff. It's a free call. It's not a pressure sale or anything like that. I don't like that, so I don't endorse that. But some folks have wanted, like, I want to talk to DP. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I opened up my schedule for some calls there. But if you want my time one-on-one dedicated, that's, it's going to cost a few bucks. And by a few bucks, I mean literally a few bucks. That's it. You know what I mean? But it's just the whole fact that, understanding how we scale those different things. But options, you know what I mean? Some folks don't need that. Some folks can see the content. That's all they need. Ask a question on here. You're good to go. But back to your VSO. Good. Other folks, they may need more. So I like options. Can applying for a job affect your disability? No. Arguably, it probably helps because if you're sitting at home watching paint dry, you may go crazy. So you need activity. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how a 1980 peacetime veteran is now entitled to enrollment in healthcare without proving. Okay, so what's the argument then? I guess because you can prove it via Terra, but you don't have any toxic exposure, so you just served. You're going to be subject to a means income test at the VA based off of income and things of that such because you're not filing for a claim specifically for disability, right? So it really depends on kind of again where you're at. So you have no toxic exposure. So your argument now then becomes, hey, I served and I want care, and then they'll do like the whole means income test thing for you and place you in a category there in thereof. But should you, let's say, were exposed to JP8 fuel, for example, and that caused you to have some melanoma and migraines, and you can make that argument, then now that's service connected, and you can be seen for those things. Let's see. Love the information. Appreciate you. I had toxic exposure. Yeah. So Tera, that's the whole thing. TERA. That's the new pathway for you to make the argument to say I was exposed to this stuff when I did this in the service. Peacetime, wartime, it don't matter. Toxic is toxic. Again, but where were you? What was your job? Explain the circumstance. So it's like, again, I was a Camp Lejeune. I was on this. I freaking was a refueler and was covered in blah, 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 blah. So, like, you have to be able to present something. You know what I'm saying? Like, how were you exposed to toxic exposure? What do you think was toxic exposure, right? Yeah, and again, and it could be again, you know what I mean? It has to make sense, Devin. So you get it. If you're around burn pits, does that count? Yeah, it does. But again, that's just more so. So think of burn pits like a fire. I burn my hand. Okay, what's the argument? But I burned my hand. Okay, and well, my hand was burned and I need to get skin grafts and stuff. Okay, now we're talking, right? So burn pits, check, got it. Now what are we dealing with? Asthma, respiratory issues, fill in the blank, right? So those things is kind of like the next evolution that folks miss because you can't file burn pits, you can't file PACAC, you can't file Agent Orange, you can't file fill in the blank. Rather, I was exposed to these things and as such. Yeah, and you can get folks that could potentially, again, speak to the statement, what you did, what happened, speak to those things. Again, there's no way that I would have at my age this. So, for example, I was a 9/11 responder. I have my lungs that are pretty shot because I was there, and then burn pits and other different things like that. Why would someone of my, whatever, have this thing, right? It was my exposure to this thing right here, right? Plasnex says, okay, yeah, the foot situation, that's kind of, huh? Yeah. All right, let us see. JH, you just popped in. My brother, appreciate you. So I have no clue. Again, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and act like I know half of the stuff. I just like to talk claims and help vets and create things. But enter social media. So trying some cool things. If you haven't got on my YouTube, go check that out. Trying to create some new things there as well. It just lends itself better to longer content. But I guess there's like a membership thing. So I don't know how the heck it started, but that's probably why the live was messed up earlier. But some folks have started to become members. I have to relook at that stuff. But I guess if you're subscribing, it's not live on YouTube, but it is on TikTok. If you're subscribing, then you can see things and have more access to things. So, like, if I did a video, and only if you are subscribing, you see that. So, that might be something to kind of potentially work through. That might be kind of cool. Like, I will never do like a live just for subscribers, because that to me is kind of crazy. But the video responses, like, literally, I could crank those out every day. And some of those will go only to subscribers. So I'm trying to think about how kind of to leverage some of that to be pretty cool. So more to follow there. But I appreciate the folks that kind of have jumped on that. So here's that part. Let's see. What's up, Dally? Let's see. Tony, hey there, you doing good? I appreciate you. The permanent profiles help you reclaim CLO. So that's a good argument, right? You have a permanent profile. So again, rewind. What do you have a permanent profile for? Let's just say it's your knee. What's wrong with your knee? What happened, right? Something service related. Got it. What's the diagnosis? Patella tendonitis, whatever the case may be. Range of motion problem, instability. Got it. Check. That in turn becomes now the argument for the claim, right? The permanent profile is used as proof of how that has impacted you, where you couldn't do X, Y, C, the third, you can't do this, you're on the alternate PT thing. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of helps there. Does that make sense for you, Liberty, though? I want to make sure that that kind of makes sense, though, right? I'm not, in the sake of like literally doing two things, because, when someone asks, I always say this damn thing, so if you heard it before, spare me. But there's this dude on freaking, I crack myself all the time. He's on Instagram, and heavyset dude. He's from like New Zealand, some shit, and he literally makes a video about working out. He's sweating, and the trainer's like, you okay? You're in pain, and his accent. He's like, no, no, pain. I love pain. He says, pain is my friend. He says, without pain, I have no friends. When I tell you, this makes me laugh all the time. Boy. So I say that to say that on your side of the house, right? Where was it? You're arguing to that whole thing. Like, pain is my friend. I'm over here trying to freaking take these PT tests or the alternate thing. I'm not being looked at favorably. It's a freaking points game. I'm not a PT stud no more. What's the impact to my life? So permanent profiles, arguing those things again. Without pain, I have no friends. Like, this is my life, my permanent profile. Air Force, what's up, say? 8691. But yeah, check CLO. So that's the rationale there. Timelines. Why are they changing intensified by 6 months when retro was a interesting? Why did that happen? Did you just get out? Odd. Yeah, you could ask some clarification on that, because that seems off. Duty to assist. It means that the VA's job is to sit there and help you do something. If they didn't do that thing or help you find some records, etc., their duty is to help you do said thing for sure. Excited for class tomorrow, as am I. Wednesday's the best day ever. I love teaching class. That's why I love doing these lives, because I'm just popping in here doing questions. But to the whole pain is my friend thing, that's why I do these things. I literally, figure out how much tell me you want to make yourself suffer without telling me you want to make yourself suffer. Do a live, 2 places at the same time. TikTok, YouTube, and just sit here answering questions. Like, some folks can't even answer a question in one location. I'm over here literally looking at 2 phones, just and again, not toot my horn. You see no papers or script. I'm just answering straight from the hip. So either I know what I'm talking about, or I'm completely full of shit. Moral of the story is, like, and again, that's not like a me thing, but more so make sure whoever you're getting with have support, have help, can guide you, can explain things to you, can break things down to you, right? That's the biggest thing when it comes to this. But for me, I love pain. Do a live in two places and try to do two things at the same time. With IU, can you work? Yeah, but you have an income, Cecilian, you have an income cap for the not to the national poverty level, national poverty level. So you can't go over a certain threshold. Lower back pain, PTSD, da 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 da. Lewis check, CMP, PTSD Monday. Any tips? Come to class tomorrow. PTSD initial symptoms, big symptoms. I talk a lot about it here. The 50 to 70, 70 to 100 video I have for mental health is a good one. I cover it pretty extensively in my class tomorrow live, so check that out if you're interested in that. But it's symptom. It's talking about the present. The biggest thing I can tell you, if you've been removed from service for a period of time and you're filing a claim for the first time and it's a mental health claim, PTSD, etc., the claim is not about what happened. If nothing else, take that away for today's little chat, fireside, TED Talk. Claims are not about what happened. Claims are about what is happening. Claims is a conversation of the present, pointing something that happened in the past. It's as easy as that sounds, it actually isn't, because for people that don't get that, I understand that you think you should be paid because your job was XYZ. No, you were paid. You have DD 214. You're saying that because of said service that was paid and covered, you have these issues today. That's the argument. Symptoms today, PTSD today, not just something happened, but what's happening now. Symptoms today, present tense. That's the part that folks get lost. They spend the whole entire time talking about the past, and it's like, well, okay, good memory, but you're not telling me how you're impaired today. End of my class. Have no clue. Changing it now. They're doing an appeal. They had to. Yeah, I would definitely appeal that, Dally. Stomp. Do not be afraid to fill out LD. They cannot deny. Man, no, that part. Duty to assist, the clock, restart. No, they'll just drag it out as long as they can to do that thing. A toxic exposure claim for asthma, GERD, could trigger. Yeah, I think so. Valid. Again, respiratory issues. Time is my class. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Could toxic exposure claim trigger of my other thing? If they're due for re-examination, but I wouldn't really focus on that. Can you claim MST? Yep, all the time. Have many veterans in that situation. Thank you, service. Sorry, this country. Look, there's some other people that for sure can that battle too. So, just the vet helping other vets. Disability code sheet static claims. Can you get rebate for the? No, if they're static, they're static. They're not going to really call you for that. So there's no reason for that. The things that are not static, they'll look at those things. But if you're PNT, they'll just pretty much close it all out. But a good point there, true or false. Good to know for my CMP comes out. Dally. Check. Yeah, probably the class tomorrow. You can. Like I said, it's there's a lot to unpack when it comes to that, but for sure. Taking long this year, PAC Act and backlog, especially high review. Yeah, sometimes. Let's see. How do I claim MST? Pev sent me for PTSD. Again, like any PTSD, but you're really filing to, hey, something happened, right? Speaking to that thing, 781 alpha, personal assault form, and then speaking again to the symptoms today. So you're identifying, hey, this didn't happen, rationale, reasons, personal statements, what's going on, what's happened from there to now, triggers, things in life, no matter how long ago it's been. We're talking MSTs. And again, being able to speak to, hey, maybe it took this long because of XYZ, right? So, yeah, that's like 5-10 seconds of what really is a whole hour conversation. Pending for 8 months, SIPs, yeah, that's how that kind of goes and happens. Yes, Big Daddy, do that. That's the username. Like, literally, I have my wife look at me weird. Oh, my God. I'm trying to answer questions before I shut this thing down, and my wife here says, yes, Big Daddy, do that. Oh, Lord. My life. I don't know what you said first, Carl. PTSD, separate anxiety. You only get one mental health claim, so they'll look at all that together, but you only get one mental health claim, whichever that may be, or them together. Third part, check. Yep. All right. That's my time. Make sure you're following, turn on the bell notification, because like IBS, when you least expect it, it hits, or migraines, or my lives. So that's the biggest thing there. But every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, I'm teaching a class. So if you have a CMP coming up, I would definitely say that Ace Your CMP class, my class, is kind of the cat's pajamas. And there's a whole Q&A afterwards. So that's a big thing there. And then next Tuesday, if you know active duty people, let them know. Links in bio. That's live. Check out the website. We updated it. A lot of cool things happening, but looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow and next Tuesday, especially my active duty people. With that, I'm wrapping up and gonna go do some daddy duties. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, Adam, you can add your dependents. That's fine. Yeah, you can add them. That's easy. All right, so we're good here. Appreciate you. Yes, you can add the son even after PNC.